Good morning, Texoma. I'm Ashley Fitzwater. This morning, we're taking a look at the Hotter Than Hell 100 bike race. It's coming up August 25th, and we have everything you need to know about the largest single-day bike race in the nation that all started right here in the Falls. Joining me now with more is Roby Christie, who is the president of Hotter Than Hell 100, and then Jesse Greenwood, the media coordinator. So thank you both for being here today. And
we're happy to be here.
Excited to learn all about this year's event and, of course, what this means to our community. Now, Roby, you've been with this and a part of this since the start. So what does Hotter Than Hell 100 really mean to our community, and how do you describe it to everyone at home?
Well, you know, I think I describe it as an opportunity for Wichita Falls to put its best foot forward to the world, because in reality, Hotter Than Hell brings people in from all over the world, not just Texas or the United States. We have people from all over the world here to participate in this ride, and it is the biggest of its kind in the world, and it brings a kind of attention to our city that it couldn't get any other way. Really nice positive attention for things that volunteers do together, this community pulls together. It couldn't be done anywhere else.
Such a good point. And you know, you're fairly new to the community,
Yes.
Jesse. So tell everyone, you know, how long have you been living in the community, and what are your thoughts and your impressions whenever you hear Hotter Than Hell 100?
Actually, last year was my first year being involved with the Hotter Than Hell, and it was just very interesting. I mean, how many people get together to make this event happen, and it's just, you meet so many incredible people as well as seeing so many things you don't see on a regular basis. So I mean, just one day a year, and it's spread out over a few days, but I mean, it's just something to be very proud of, to be a part of too. So
would you say you were surprised with the turnout? Because I mean, if you're down there the day of Hotter Than Hell 100, there's thousands and thousands of people.
It's exciting. It's kind of a rush, you know. I mean, there's people from, like Roby had said, from all over the United States, and then some, you know, professional riders even, and you know, they're so friendly. I mean, you can just nearly walk up to anybody and say, "Hi, where are you from?" and they'll just talk to you and just tell you. So I mean, it's a great place to meet people too. So it's exciting.
It really is exciting. And you know, last year News Channel 6, we were able to be right down there whenever they fired off that shot and all those racers, and I actually had the chance to be right down there live, and I mean, what a sight, you know, growing up here and seeing that but never being right there. What a sight that was.
Yeah, the starting line is just electrified.
Yeah.
I get chill bumps thinking about it. I got them right now. But at that starting line, just as you're waiting for that last few seconds to tick off, and we're looking off to the south skies for those jets that come over for the start, and there are 15,000 people out there excited about having a great day. There's something about that human energy that is contagious, and it comes to you, and the planes start coming over, the national anthem is happening, and people are excited, they're ready to get going. Then the cannon goes off. It's just a morning that most people can't forget. It is a patriotic occasion. People, oddly enough, as the jets come over and the anthem is being played, there are tears out there for just knowing that so many people have sacrificed their lives so that we can be free to do these kind of things.
Absolutely. I understand the general usually plays a big part in making that cannon go off too, right?
Yeah, the cannon is, I guess it's one of our namesakes here. The cannon was built by a gentleman here in Wichita Falls in a high school class. He got the metal, tooled it down, and it has been with us for 31 years.
Wow.
And another gentleman named Tree Wood brings it out, and then the general fires the cannon, and it is one of the most exciting parts of the day. In fact, a few years ago, the folks at the Dallas Morning News were relaying how the morning had gone, and they said that the jets had gone over and there was a sonic boom. No sonic boom.
Yeah.
It was the cannon.
The name in itself, Hotter Than Hell 100, it's perfect for Texoma if you've lived here any moment, and you know the triple digits we've been seeing this summer as well. It lives up to its name. So going back to the history here, can you tell us how this all started, and you know, even the name, include that in this story too.
Well, I was asked to be a part of the Centennial Committee, and my job was to help come up with a kickoff event for celebrating the Wichita Falls 100th birthday. Well, we got working on that and found that that the folks who came to tell Wichita Falls how to do a celebration wanted to do a rocking chair marathon. And we said, no, we're not going to do a rocking chair marathon. The people that came across the prairie in wagons and walked and on horseback, they weren't rocking chair people. We're going to do something else. We're going to do a bicycle event, a 100-mile bicycle event. Well, during our planning session, we were sharing all of this, and Mark Davis, who was a citizen of Wichita Falls at the time, said, well, it's going to be August. Well, it's going to be hotter than hell. And his face just went white. He said, well, that's the name. And, you know, by all rights, this is the best name that we could have ever come up with. Last year was a really hot year. It was a record year for us at Hotter than Hell 100. It was the hottest Hotter than Hell 100 we had ever had. We had fewer heat injuries and happier people because everybody that came had trained for 100 plus.
Yeah.
So it was great. We were asked by a group in another pretty big Texas town how to help them with an event that had been already on for 10 or 15 years. How did you make this grow so fast? We said, well, you need to change the name of your event. It was something like the St. Mary's Bike-a-thon. And said, people don't want to brag about being in the St. Mary's Bike-a-thon.
So did they change their name
They
too?
didn't, and it doesn't exist any longer.
Oh. But Hotter than Hell, it definitely still around, 31 years now. Much more on the Hotter than Hell 100 and how you can get involved. Stick around, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we are taking an inside look into the Hotter than Hell 100 and really its impact on Wichita Falls. Now the big day, August the 25th, is the day of the race. That's a Saturday morning. It will all kick off, but it's a weekend-long event. So can you share with us really just kind of looking ahead to that weekend, what people need to know?
Friday, there's actually a Science of Cycling Medical Symposium. You have your mountain bike races. You have your finish line village, and then you also have the criterium races as well. It's just like lap cycling. It's pretty exciting if you've never gone to see it. You know, people just kind of hang out on the stairs or sit on the grass and just watch these people, these cyclists just lap around.
Friday is a day that Wichitans, if they don't ride bicycles, well, even if they do, they need to come on Friday to take part in the consumer show. It's huge. It fills up that whole exhibit hall. And there are people there selling and showing products that would be good for runners or hunters or cyclists, anyone who's getting exercise. So you can go there and find some good deals on things as well. And then the race itself, the off-road bicycle race is full. We can't take any more registrations for that. But people would be able to watch that. And if you get in the right places, you can see some good mountain biking happening out in the woods along the river. But then the criterium, it is the most exciting race you can watch because it's out on the highway. If you were watching the road race, well, they come zooming by.
Yeah.
That's it. And they're probably riding by in a straight line. At the criterium, there are about 50 or 60 riders riding very close to one another, sometimes touching, they're so close. And they go through 90-degree turns at about 50 miles an hour, up to 50 miles an hour, really fast. And if you're anywhere near the curb line, you can feel the wind as they go by. It's something, it's a story that I've told before. Eddie Hill, he, of course, a famous fast car driver here in Wichita Falls. He brought his souped-up Corvette out and was going to be a lead vehicle way back in the early days. Nobody realized just how fast can be on a bicycle. And but he was warned. He said, you need to get out ahead of them a little bit. And he thought, well, I can accelerate around these people. But the very first lap, he got lapped. And he had to just pull over to the side, wait for them to come back, and then he took off and never let them get that close
Yeah.
again. But the criterium is a lot of fun. We are excited about having a high school team here. We think it's a good developmental program that would lead into our Midwestern State University bicycle racing team. We've had a national champion from Wichita Falls that started as a cyclist here, went to MSU, and then became a national collegiate champion.
Wow.
Brandy Alexander was her name, and she started as just a child. Well, we would like to see more of that happen for Wichita Falls, and we'd like to get the high school team going, and then, but a good way to get that started is for young people and their parents to come out for that criterium and see how great those professionals can ride those bicycles.
So this is something the little kids would also enjoy then, correct?
Yeah, well, and on Sunday there'll be a little kids race. There is also a criterium on Sunday, but there will be a little kids race on Sunday. I think it's one lap around the course, up to maybe 14 years old, and it's fun to watch that as well.
Oh, I bet. Now, where is this taking place, this criterium? If they need to head out August 24th, where and what time?
It starts at 5 o'clock at Impact. And the Finish Line Village will be out there. The consumer show will be going on. So if a person wants to come out and check those things out and then wait for the criterium, it'd be they would just be there by the Coliseum. Yeah, that's probably the best place. There are some stairs on the east end of the Coliseum and a lot of grass. It's a good place to watch it. You can get up high, see them come racing by.
So again, that Friday. 5 o'clock is when it all kicks off, and then that's when everything else will be open. Then
everything else will be open. Actually, the consumer show and the other things will have started about noon.
Okay.
Because we'll be expecting a lot of out-of-town guests coming in to pick up their packets. That's the busiest day of all three, Friday for registration. And so if you're registered and you're local, come on Thursday.
Good advice. That way you're not
Yeah.
standing in line. So you can take part in all of this. And then after the criterium, or I'm not sure what time, but there's, of course, the spaghetti dinner that's going to be taking place, too. So come watch the criterium and then maybe go over there and get something to eat.
Yes, absolutely.
The Restaurant Association puts that on, and they are really happy to have folks from the community come take part in the spaghetti dinner because, well, they raise a little bit more money that they can put into scholarship programs that the Restaurant Association supports.
There is actually, though, although, you know, spaghetti sounds delicious, a great meal, and something, you know, you can take your family out there and enjoy the day, but this is a benefit to those who are going to be taking part in the race, too, right? Because I understand carbs. It's all about the carbs the night before.
Yes, that's something, obviously, you know, with nutrition when you ride, too, it kind of prepares your body. So, I mean, that's kind of what the spaghetti dinner is all about, too, you know, and involving your family with it, too. They can just come along and, you know, it's good food, good people, so.
That's not all on Friday, correct?
There's Finish Line Village, too, like if the little kiddos, you know, there's lots of vendors, there's lots of food, there's things for the family to do if they just don't want to sit and watch, or, you know, there's the consumer show, and then also that morning it goes until 10 a.m. to about 3, the medical symposium. There's going to be some great speakers about, just not about cycling, but just about the body and nutrition and things like that. So a lot of great things going on. There's a ton to do. So, I mean, it's all the way up from little bitty to grandmas can be there. So.
Yeah.
And everybody that runs or cycles or weight lifts or
Yes,
plays tennis,
absolutely.
they're all interested in how their body functions
Yeah.
in a performance way. And so they can learn what applies to their sport at that symposium.
How beneficial do you feel that this really is, you know, to the tradition and, you know, adding this to just being another part of this piece of history?
Oh, I think it's really important. At one time, it was only available to the doctors. And well, not just the doctors. It would be anyone who was performing medical help during Hotter Than Hell 100. And we decided that it was important to share the same information with riders. And kind of a way of the way things have worked over the years, this was a natural progression. Dr. Jerry Alexander, he was Brandy Alexander's dad. He was a really great doctor here in town, eventually succumbed to cancer. But in the early days of Hotter Than Hell 100, he did a lot of research on hydration, and one year we found that people were sick and we were IVing them because they had all the symptoms of being dehydrated, but in fact they were overhydrated.
Wow.
And it's hyponatremia. And he wrote a paper on that, and it was one of the first papers published on hyponatremia at events like this. And we kind of set the stage for other events to pay attention to that really unusual malady that can happen when people over consume fluids during exercise.
That is very interesting. And like you said, something that really can, I mean, just viewers at home, you know, if you're out in the yard working, you're outside playing, your kids in this heat, you know, living in this Texoma heat, you know, just really the importance of all of that and the knowledge that you can
That's
gain
true.
that weekend.
That medical symposium would be good for gardeners as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we have much more on how you can volunteer, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with